May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hey guys, this is DCHL Devin here, and welcome to another episode of A Light in the Dark. And in these episodes, we take your questions in the comment section below and give them answers, just like the GBHL Speak Friend in Question. Now, for those of you who aren't new to our channel, you may notice that Walker is missing. I have to film this at my location because Walker has been unavailable this week. So rather than go without an episode for the first half of the week, I just figured I'd go ahead and film one for you today. So we're going to go ahead and get to the first question coming from Akathon39. And he asks, will you guys do some sort of coverage of Nova on the channel for those guys who cannot make it? So the answer is yes, and an astounding yes. So there's going to be a ton of coverage at NOVAopen. We're going to have, first off, our channel is going to be doing a blog of every single day. We're going to be announcing prize winners, telling what's going on. You will be completely informed of what's going on. Then we have the bat reps. So the GBHL and us are doing bat reps. The GBHL may not actually film their blogs, but they might. I don't really know. But even on top of that, if you guys don't know, we even have another channel coming. It's LotR SBG Battles, I believe is the name of it. It's actually, I'm subscribed to them, and I'll go ahead and post a link in the description below. But he is also coming, and he's going to be also blogging, and he's bringing all his film equipment. And then finally, we actually have other members who are bringing camera equipment for their own private channels that they have. We actually have a lot of coverage that we're going to be giving at NOVAopen. So you guys will be completely informed on what's going on in this. We're treating this like I guess you can call it a world championship, which we intend to keep up every year. All right, and our next question is going to come from Yam Cider. And he says he's going to be flying down from Minnesota to attend the Nova event. And he's wondering if, since this is his first tournament, should he play in the GT or just stick to critical mass events? Also, will the critical mass tournament points be chosen by the players? So, the answer to this actually, well, there's two questions here. As far as the GT question, I would absolutely say yes, you should still attend. The reason why is because most of the players going to the GT actually don't expect to win. The GBHL is showing up. I mean, they're going to end up hurting a lot of players. Also, we have some of our best players entering in the tournament as well. And not only that, we have players coming from all around the world, and most people don't travel the entire world just you know, like if they're not very good. Now, however, in your case, there are actually a lot of beginner players. There's actually quite a few who are going into the tournament just strictly for the fun of it, and this is a fun event. It is the most competitive, but that's actually a good thing. So what's going to happen is basically the players will start to get matched up based on rankings. The first round is completely randomized. However, after that, it's based like whoever's winning. So the people with the most points tend to fight each other, and the people with the least points then get matched up with each other that way. So after your first round, let's say you get kind of clobbered in the first to the death round, after that, you're going to be fighting opponents who are kind of more on your level. The best part about that is you now get to learn in a competitive environment. And you get to learn a lot of different scenarios, see a lot of different tactics you haven't seen before. Remember that the GT is the only event that is a strict one-on-one, just you and another opponent. All the other ones are all group events. Well, I'm sorry, Middle-earth's Deadliest Heroes is one, but that's kind of weird for the normal game because you're fighting with an all-hero army. But other than that, this is the only way you get one-on-ones. So I would absolutely say, yeah, sign up for the GT. I think you'll still enjoy it. And the best part is we have 6 prizes, some of which I have not mentioned in my video, actually quite a few of them, that are not given to tournament winners. And they're not given to favorite players, favorite armies. They're not given to, we have, all right, one for favorite army, one for Unbroken, one for the best painted, as you guys see in the primer. But there are actually multiple other prizes which are hidden prizes. So you actually still have a chance to get a lot of prizes actually in these events. Granted, it won't be Smaug or a giant, board, but there'll still be really cool prizes, still a lot of fun. To answer your second question, for those of you who don't know, Critical Mass are spontaneous tournaments that players decide. The players come together, the players put it together. All they do is they ask me to officialize it. I set them up with tables, reserve it for them, reserve the terrain for them, everything that they need. And the players come up with everything else unless they ask me to do so otherwise. So you can say 500 points, 300 points, it doesn't matter. It could be any type of event you want, you can do all to the death, it doesn't really matter. The only thing is, if you want the critical mass event to count toward the Staff of Power, then it has to be one of the events that I have set up. All right, but if you just want a standard tournament just to have some fun, then yeah, it's completely up to the players what you pick. So next question here, we have Brad Thy Hipster. He says, hey guys, what's your thoughts on other gaming systems and what ones are you interested in? So this actually, I kind of wish I had Walker with me on this one because he actually is a master of a lot of game systems. And actually, for those of you who don't know, well, basically, yeah, he just played a lot of different gaming systems. Now, let's go with me. I actually am into X-Wing. I actually like X-Wing. I think its rules are pretty tactical. I think Malifaux is a pretty fun game. And I'd have to say, I've actually been looking forward to getting into Bolt Action. The reason why is because Alessio Cavatore, I believe is how I pronounce his name, the creator of the Lord of the Rings system, created that. And also Lord of the Brown Ring, a player from Chicago, has also recommended it highly. So that is something that I would probably be getting into. I like to play multiple different game systems. Lord of the Rings is hands down my favorite. And not to say I couldn't be taken away from that, but for the last like 12, 13 years I've been playing this game, so far I've never found a better, more strategic game than Lord of the Rings. So personally, this is what I prefer, but I do play other games. So if I have to give a number one, what do I think about other gaming systems? Well, actually, you just asked in general, what am I interested in? When I talk about Walker, Walker plays 40K. He actually has a Harlequin army, and Walker has a fantasy army. He knows how to play fantasy. I'm not sure if he actually has an army for fantasy. Alex, actually one of the other members you see on this channel quite frequently, he actually has a Bolt Action. He's really kind of getting into Bolt Action, and he also kind of likes War Machine, War Hordes, Hordes. So yeah, those are pretty much the gaming systems we all like. So the next question, actually I actually got two questions from this person, is Akathon39 once again. And he says he has a quick question, though. He just needs an answer to it. Can Gollum from Mordor list lead troops? This is a fantastic question. So, this is kind of weird because Gollum can only be included in your force if you know your opponent is bringing a ring bearer. It says it can't be otherwise. So technically, you couldn't bring him to a tournament because you don't know your opponent is bringing it. If they don't have the ring bearer in their force, then that means you've cheated. So technically, when you come to NOVAopen, you can't bring Gollum because he just becomes illegal every time. So now some players play it where, well, you just put him in the list, and if the ring bearer is in the list, then you just throw him out and play. Well, I'm not going to do that at Nova because that makes no sense. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is everyone will include him in the list, anyone who's evil, and then suddenly, oh, you have a ring bearer, and then just throw down Gollum. So now, for a casual game, you could slyly ask your opponent if they have a ring bearer, assuming this is not a scenario, and then, yes, Gollum can lead troops. There is nothing that prevents him from leading them. So he can lead. He can probably... he's not an independent character, and it's not in the FAQs to be as such. So when he deploys, since all troops deploy with their warbands, effectively he just drops a warband into your opponent's deployment area 6 inches from the ring bearer. This probably won't help you very much because your opponent will just get to focus fire on you. Unless you're starting right in the front lines, in which case, yeah, then you're all in his face and everywhere. And it's the coolest little tactical drop. In fact, worthy of a That Guy video, to be honest. But yes, in short, he can lead troops, but you just can never really play him too often. So, next question from She or Sai. Apologize if I'm pronouncing these wrong. He says, in an earlier video, we talked about who's better, the twins or Glorfindel. And he says he agrees that the twins may be a better option, but they have one crucial weakness. Once one goes down, the other one will be a tactical pain. There's no point in having extra might if you are forced to spend it all to call a potentially useless heroic move, and you cannot put the twin where he is needed any longer. And you are correct. Basically, the other one does become a problem. He kind of just runs out and does his own thing. This is kind of why you want to keep the twins sort of together, I suppose, at times. But yes, you can split them up, and I advise us doing so. Oftentimes, you will see that the twins do not use or save their might very often. They're generally busy calling it for heroic combats and using their might for heroic strikes and stuff like that very early on in the game to take out heroes. Glorfindel has the advantage of saving his might. So you are right. He is a tactical nightmare, assuming you care about the other twin. Because I believe he has to chase down the model that killed his brother, or the closest model, which does create a problem if you are intending to use him in a leadership capacity. So my answer to that, I guess, is if you have both the brothers in combat, to just keep them in that kind of situation. But yes, I'd have to agree. I still would take the twins. The reason why is because like I said, I burn through all my might with those two heroes. It is not a good idea to burn through all your might in the beginning of the game. It's definitely a terrible idea. Generally, often, whoever has the most might toward the end of the game is generally going to win, because breaking tests, you really need that might. But often, though, with those two in particular, I will use their 6 might and just abuse it. I'll call every heroic move and march and everything I ever need to do, and then all my remaining heroes will instead be leadership heroes. So, or maybe they'll call heroic combats. So frequently, heroic combat, breakthrough front lines, stuff like that, or heroic moves, whatever they need to do. And by the time one twin dies, the other one will just go on a rampage, and I don't care about him anymore. I'm not chasing after him anymore. He just becomes that hero that was out there. But by then, he should have already done his job and killed key targets or done what I needed him to do. So, but you are right still. I mean, for new players, he does become a problem if he has might left, because you're trying to save it. Last question for today's video is Clint Whitney. And he says, hey guys, I heard a rumor from a GW manager. Now it's just a rumor, but reportedly the contract for Lord of the Rings SBG is coming up this year. The smart money is that they won't renew it. Now, based on speculation, what do you guys think about this, and what does it mean for the future of the hobby? Like, what if Peter Jackson bought it? And go Team USA. So thanks for the praise there. Glad Clint Whitney's on our side. We actually have a lot of Team USA players. In fact, even the LOTR SBG guy who's coming to film in Nova is part of Team USA. So I think we'll give the GBHL a run for their money. But anyway, to answer your question, this is actually going to be deserving of its own video. And I was waiting to put out this video because I'm trying a lot of collaboration with the other YouTube channels. Now that's kind of where it goes, though. All right, let's start with your first question. The rumor. The rumor that it's going to be dropped. As far as I'm aware, the rumor is, or I'm sorry, the confirmed thing is that it drops in 2017. So if you mean a year from now, it's not 2016, it's 2017. Keep in mind, GW managers don't know anything. Okay, they don't, well, not all of them, but a lot of them really don't know a lot. In fact, Walker is a ex-GW manager. He actually used to work for the company. They don't tell you very much. GW kind of has this policy about keeping a tight control over everything. I'm also very good friends with some other GW managers, and they don't know what is going on. Not at all. So if you listen to the managers, just be aware that they are strictly following the same rumors you're going off of. So as far as what I have heard, it's supposed to end in 2017. Now, there was a rumor flying around that it was supposed to be extended for who knows what reason, maybe to burn out the stock by 2022. And if that is the case, we can't expect it to go further. I agree with you that based on that smart money is they won't renew it. The only reason they would have to renew it is to burn out the stock, which is very possible. Now, here's what the future of the hobby is. As far as the models themselves, we probably would be at an advantage if... Alright, not an advantage. We would love GW to keep up the game, but ultimately they don't support the game, which is really, really annoying for us. Alright, but also more annoying is we can't get another company to pick it up. And we could probably set it up where we play with the same rules, but I don't know. I'm not really sure how that's all going to work. So what I'm trying to do, all right, and I'm going to post a larger video on this after I communicate with the GBHL. Us and the GBHL and LTR, like a bunch of YouTube channels, are all figuring out a way to keep this game alive. Blood Bowl is at just being on a segue, Blood Bowl is at NOVAopen. Blood Bowl is a dead game. And there's actually a lot of dead games that are still alive. Basically, the company stopped producing them, yet they have a fan base that continues it. We can do that. All right, so basically we have the GBHL that produces magazines. Now, you guys haven't heard yet, but we are going to be producing a magazine of our own that will be coming out on Nova. It will be of the same quality the GBHL does. We're going to have a little bit of different content, just to give you a bit of variety, but essentially we have the content coming. And actually, with both channels constantly producing magazines, you'll have your content a lot sooner. Also, as far as the website, my website provides a liaison for new players. If GW is to drop the game, that means I can post all the rules online. Even if I can't, you guys know that you can email me and I can give you rules that are no longer for sale, which in this case, like free peoples and such like that. So, even beyond that, there is another thing that we're doing. I actually work in a building full of engineers. All right, these engineers actually work with a lot of design software and such, not into details, but they can build 3D models. They actually have 3D printers and very advanced ones. Not only that, we are actually talking to several companies and talking about trying to mass produce miniatures. Now, we can't sell them. The idea was that we could distribute them pretty much for free at Nova or any other event. Now, I don't know if they'll be ready by Nova. We're trying to get them ready by Nova. But if they're not, then we can do so at future events. So what we can do is we can mass produce, say, like, 200 King Danes on a pig. And then at our events, we give them out. The GBHL, you may have noticed, has house rules for older models. We can make house rules that are legal in all GBHL, DCHL tournaments and such, or, whatever, at these events, and we can continue the game. And in fact, there's actually a lot of models out there that we have, like Wildman and Doodland or Theoden, who are pretty useless, and we would love to be able to play. We can create house rules for these models. I mean, these models are almost always available on eBay. And I personally, as long as we keep getting a turnout at Nova, we intend to keep up in a sense, a world championship every single year. The GBHL seem to have no stopping to their tournaments. They seem to have them like almost every other weekend at this point. And so you're going to get the content. We are planning to get the models. We're planning to get everything. Now, let's say that due to copyright laws, I can't produce the models or distribute them, because that could come as a hindrance. Keep in mind, I'm telling you guys this, but none of this is like set in stone. In fact, the GBHL is only just learning about my own plan for this game as far as keeping it up. And I have more even beyond this. If I can't produce the models, we can always use models from other gaming systems. A lot of people are already looking for like alternatives to Doom Lendings, alternatives for Barbarians of Karmdum, and they'll look at other sites. That is a perfect possibility. I mean, there are so many models out there that are worth proxying, which is actually one of the reasons we relaxed the conversion rules and such for Nova. And so that way we could, allow all these really fantastic stuff in. And so, within reason. But, I mean, basically, assuming GW doesn't continue the game, I intend to continue it. The GBHL seems to intend to continue it, and lots of other channels are intending to continue it. We can keep this game alive long after GW drops it. We all know that it is inevitable that GW will eventually drop the game. We're deluding ourselves to think it's not true, all right? They will eventually drop the game, okay? But that's not the point. We keep it up for as long as possible, way after, by producing models, content. You guys are going to get so much stuff. That's why we're starting now. And that's why suddenly Nova, cropped out of anywhere. Hey, now suddenly Lord of the Rings is in America. Massive tournaments. I know we had Adepticon, but let's be real here. They gave us 5 hours for one day. Now we have a tournament that gives us an entire weekend full of events, full of awesome prizes, full of everything you need. This is a great time still for Lord of the Rings SBG. So I wouldn't give up too much hope yet. If you guys are curious about models and stuff like that, that we could produce and things, you can comment certainly in the comment section below. But ultimately, like I said, we still have to work this out as far as copyright and distribution and cost and all that stuff. But that is fully my intention, and it looks like a much realer possibility than you might imagine. So just to answer that last part, if Peter Jackson bought it, I really see no reason Peter Jackson would buy the license to this game and start producing a bunch of models. it's just not cost effective. I just can't see him doing that. I mean, he's a director, and directors have so much, on their own hands. Like, I just don't see it. So I would probably put it more likely that another miniatures company will buy it, or GW will extend based on trying to hold it. So that's all I got for you guys today. Just let me know if you guys have any questions about Nova or anything I just mentioned in this video. And join us next time. We're actually going to post the next Light in the Dark videos later this week. Also, definitely like us up on Facebook, and you'll get all of the news and the latest. Also, go on DCHobbitLeague.com. There we have tons and tons of articles and conversions. We have an archive of everything from the One Ring community and stuff like that. So if you have a hard time finding that old model or old article from GW, chances are we have it on our site. So feel free to definitely check that out. And as always, see you next time.